Okay, so the next step will be to install Visual Studio on your computer. So you can get this IDE for free just by going to visualstudio.com or visualstudio.microsoft.com. If you just go visualstudio.com, it refers it to this, so visualstudio.microsoft.com. So anyway, and it comes up to this screen, and you'll see this is the little homepage for it. So we've got Visual Studio. You have a lot of options across here. There are tons of different things. Some of this stuff is free, some of it isn't. But there are all sorts of, we just roll over products and check this out. I mean, there's all sorts of different things and different options and things that you can do. But what we really want to do is just go ahead and download the free version. So if you just come down from this homepage and just click on download for Windows, you'll see there are three versions on here. If you go community, professional, and enterprise, some of you may have graduated from enterprise high school, so you want to go with the enterprise here. I don't know, or maybe you're Star Trek fans. I don't know, but anyway, you've got those options. The easiest way to tell the difference between the versions is to click on downloads, and it tells you a little bit more about them. Or you can click on learn more, but downloads kind of shows the story here, and this is a screen I like to use. So anyway, so coming across here, we're going to go ahead and use the community version. This is the free version. You can see free for students. It is an extremely powerful IDE. You can use this for many different languages, and you'll see after the install, it's going to take a little bit of time for you to kind of get the hang of it. It's not it's not too bad, but it is pretty robust. So if you haven't used an IDE that's this robust, you'll see it's kind of fun to play with. So anyway, we'll get to that. So the option that you want to do in here, do not install the preview version. So this is like a beta, so it's going to be new. If you roll a cursor over, you can see latest features not yet implemented in Visual Studio. So skip that for now. So I would say stick with the version that they think is the most stable, and they patch it all the time. So you'll see different things will appear in there, and they add new features and different things all the time anyway. But I would say steer clear of that one. So when you click on free download, it's going to go ahead and give you a little thing. I don't want to take a survey, so no thanks. My download already started, so here's my file down here that's already downloaded. It's a small file, and then from there you're going to go ahead and run. And so let me see here. I'll go and open this up. So this is my file right here. So I'm going to run this little baby. You'll see it'll pull up some options here in a second. I have not installed the Visual Studio on this computer, so it's a fresh install just to see kind of what it'll look like. So I'm going to say, do you want this? I'm going to say yes. Blah, 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 blah. A few things to configure. So here we go with the download. So it's downloading things, and it's going to eventually ask me some questions. So I'm going to go ahead and hit pause right now, and then I'll come back to you when this stage is done. Okay, so we're back here now, and the installer little pre-installer package finished, and now this is what you'll see with Visual Studio Community 2017. This is what pops up right after that little install, and so you can see on here there's all sorts of little things that you can add to this. I told you this is a very powerful IDE, and but I want to show you a few things because you can get a little bit carried away with installing. So I've found this out the hard way a few times. So when you're looking at the installs on this, if you look just down here really quickly, total space required, 610 megs. So this is the basic package, and that's what we've got. So, and I'm going to leave this on here install while downloading. It's not a big deal here. You can change the location if you want, all that kind of stuff. In fact, that you get more information if you click here. So here's the IDE. Like actually got all this little stuff in here. So we've got language packs, whatever, individual components, so you can look at, just the .NET ones, it's crazy, and then you've got all this other stuff in here. So there are many different things that you can install and support for lots of languages, and it's pretty cool. So, but under workloads, you can really see sort of the overview on here. So just to give you an idea, if we were to play with .NET, which, we might do a little bit of WPF later on, but we'll maybe add that later on. For now, I think we'll stick with the core components. So just to give you an idea, though, let's see. Like for example, if I wanted to use this for C++, and I'm like, oh, go ahead and install the basic package of C++, and you can see, boom, it pops up in here. Here's the core features, blah blah blah, and then you have all this other stuff that you can choose to add in. But you can see just the core of it. All of a sudden, we're up to we're getting 6.5 gigs. So just adding that one little component in there, and the same kind of thing if you want to add Python or other things down the way here, all sorts of different things. So but for now, we'll keep it really simple. We'll keep it to the basic default install here. So I'm not going to adjust anything. I'm not going to add any components. Hold on, very tempted to add things in here, but like I could very easily add Python. But anyway, I'm gonna skip all that, and we're just gonna go ahead and click install. And you want to can you blah 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 blah, see all this kind of stuff on here. So we're gonna just say continue, and it's gonna walk through as it downloads, and then it will do an install. So it's gonna like start going through here, downloading here. Not too big, so we're doing okay. I'm gonna go ahead and pause it again real quick until this stage is done. Okay, so we're back and finished with our basic install, and then it leaves us with this screen right here. So you can see, I mean, under more, you can do a repair if you needed to for some reason, or you can uninstall from here. You can see launch or modify. Let me show you modify just very quickly. It goes back into the individual installer, and you could come in here and decide, hey, I want to go ahead and add this piece in there. So if we wanted to do that, then you can see we're almost 15 gigs for another portion of our install. So I mean, we could do that. I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna wait. And there will be some things that you may want to add later on as we go through. In fact, you probably have to add later on as we go through the semester. But for now, we'll keep with the basic stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out of this after I uncheck that piece, and I'm just going to close this whole thing down. So I'm going to close this out of here. And then what I typically will do is do a quick search for Visual Studio. So here's our desktop app in here, and I just right click on it and say, I'm going to pin it to my taskbar so that I have that down in my taskbar. You can't see it, it's below the screen, but that's where I'll keep my little launch for that. So anyway, so when you launch Visual Studio, and it's going to start off here, getting things ready, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it will ask you to log in. So there's, you can create an account, or you can check a little button that says not now, maybe later, something like that. Mine by default just automatically recognized my Microsoft account in here through the college. So it has a profile and everything. I don't really have much of a profile on there, but it's on that piece. But right here, this is an important part of setting things up. So our development settings, what we want to do is change that from general to Visual Basic, and it modifies some of the things. And you can change it later, and you'll see in one of the videos, well, probably the next video, that you can modify those things and others too. And I'm going to go ahead and stick with blue for now. You know, you have different themes and all these things that you can do. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit Start Visual Studio, and it will go ahead and launch. So this may take a little bit, but that's okay. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm outside of my screen. Just in case you're curious, I have a 4K monitor, but I am using a 1080p capture software so that it's really easy to put into YouTube. So anyway, so adjusted that there. Okay, so now we have this piece in here. This is our little start page that we've got. You can see there are different options that you have, different tools that we'll look at in the next video. The author has a video that you'll see posted in Canvas that you want to follow through and make some changes. Here's our little, Solution Explorer, Team Explorer down here that they've got as an add-on. So there's different things you can do, and you can modify these. That's one of the things that the next video will do, using these little auto hides and all this kind of stuff to play around with this and change the way they're set up, or one on top of the other, so you don't switch back and forth. There are all sorts of different things that you can do to modify this. So I'm going to stop this right now because we're at 9 minutes. This seems pretty long, but I did pause it a couple times. But this is a pretty hefty install. Again, if you're just using the basic package though, like we are right now, we'll add things later. But the basic package that we're doing right now, this will kind of get you going. So now you're going to look at modifying things in the next video.